Alright, here is the Holmes 16-inch oscillating pedestal fan model HASF-1701. This one is from 1996. Pretty much found this fan a few months back. Um, it's only the top part. This one's pretty much sitting on a Alaska base from the mid 2000s. Its original base was pretty much busted up already. It was one of those plastic cross bases. So it was missing a few legs, and the center piece where those legs are supposed to connect, it was already broken, so I couldn't do anything about it. Um, but anyways, the top part seems fine. Um, its power cord is somehow yellowed, but I'm not even sure how. Um, there are a few minor changes to this fan. For example, you might notice that it has a different blade. This one came from one of those Honeywell quiet sets from the early 2010s. I also had to change a few components in the oscillator gearbox. Um, so I don't know what it was, but I guess the fan was running too hot to the point that it started impacting those plastic components on the gearbox, and it started to melt. Therefore, making the turning of the fan in a certain position very hard because it was very stiff, and it also pretty much impacted the gears. But let's take a closer look around here. So as you see, I changed the oscillator knob, and that was because of the warping. The warping also impacted the oscillator knob. It was pretty much, as you might see, it was supposed to be standing straight, but because of that warping, it started to bend a little, so that had to be replaced. Um, the gears driving the oscillation also had to replace, and that's pretty much it. Has this handle right here. Tilting degree is not really much. It's supposed to be a full 90, but this one it pretty much is a 25-degree maximum, I guess. But at least the quality is not really that bad. But however, well, here is the motor itself from the side view. In reality, this is actually the same size as a modern day Lasco fan motor. It's just that the motor cover, because of its round shape, it just makes it look small, and because of its position, where the motor is screwed in from, it's also the reason why it makes it look smaller. So I might make a separate video on this, dissecting the entire fan, that we could have a initial view of why this fan is designed that way. So here is the pitch on the Honeywell fan blade. It's looks kind of flat, but in actuality, it's very, very decent for a modern day fan. These blades were not used to their full advantage, and it's quite telling. These Honeywell quiet set fans, they use 12-inch motors, and they were insanely slow. But with this motor, you're going to see how much it. You're going to see how powerful this blade is at its full advantage. So we'll start with high. Now you can see this. Look at how powerful that is. That's moving a whole ton of air right there. And it's insanely powerful. It's much better compared to the original, which could barely blow a fraction of the same amount as this blade does. The original blade does have aerodynamic issues, and this entire thing has aerodynamic issues. This blade set improves it though. And this blade set also provides a very much longer range and speeds. So here's medium. Um, Still powerful. That is quite insane. There is some noise being produced at the base, and that's quite strange because if I'm feeling this right now, the blade is not really that out of balance, if at all. Here is low power. I don't know what that noise is, but it's coming from the base. Yeah, I'm not really sure. But there is the low speed. Very quiet and gentle. Much better improvement to the original blade. I think the original blade would have been a bit more noisier if on low speed. And it would not blow much air at all. But this one's actually very perfect. Feel a very drastic improvement compared to the other one. So there's the oscillation engaged. So you can see how slow this is running, but you could also feel the amount of air being pushed. So this fan is oscillating at a full 90 degree. There's two settings which the oscillating rod can be positioned in. There's one side is for the 45 degree, and then there's a whole other one for the full 90 degree, which is something that most of these other fan companies do not offer on their fans. But this one's quite unique because it provides those two options, and they did it on older fans up until the mid 2000s. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a very good fan. Had Holmes made it properly, this would have been the best fan competing against Lasco and the SMC, but they just didn't do that, and that is one missed opportunity right there. Because even though this grill is obstructing the airflow, this blade is doing everything in its power to push against that resistance. Alright. So it's time to turn it off now. Spin down timing is a bit shorter, but the bearings are very good. So there you have it. That's the Holmes 16-inch oscillating pedestal fan model HASF-1701.